in which cases a foreign-owned US LLC does not pay tax on income received from US sources. So let's say you formed a Delaware LLC in order to provide web design services to American clients. You're doing Amazon FBA, dropshipping, selling digital products to American customers. Will you be taxed on that Delaware LLC's income from US customers? Not necessarily. So let me explain the tax law. For the IRS, LLC is a disregarded entity. It's as if it doesn't exist. Instead, the LLC looks directly through the walls of that entity, so to speak, and taxes its members individually according to their tax status. If you're a foreigner outside of the United States, your tax status, your tax classification is a non-resident alien. So to determine which income in that LLC will be taxed or not, we need to know how are the non-resident aliens treated in the United States tax code. Tax code says that NRAs taxed on income only if they are engaged in a trade or business in the United States. And you're wondering, well, if I'm selling to American consumers, if I'm doing work for American clients, if I'm drop shipping in America, doesn't that mean I'm engaged in a trade or business in the US? Not necessarily, because the law then defines engaged in the US trade or business as two things are necessary. You have at least one dependent agent in the United States, and two, that dependent agent does something substantial to further your business interest in the United States. Simply administrative functions are not enough. And if that agent is an independent contractor, it's an independent agent as opposed to a dependent agent, then also you don't fall under that definition of engaged in US trade or business, and therefore the income of that LLC will not be subject to US tax. Furthermore, if you are from one of the countries with which United States has a treaty for the avoidance of double taxation, that gives you an extra opportunity to exclude your income from the American LLC from American taxation. That's because if you're from a treaty country, then an extra way out of US taxation for you would be through the what's normally there in Article 5. Those treaties, they're standard, and Article 5 is the one that says that if you're from a treaty country, then you're only subject to tax in the United States if you operate in that country through a permanent establishment. And that means an office or other fixed place of business. So that answers the question how to exclude your income from US taxation. Know that by law, you're only engaged in a trade or business in the States that if you have a dependent agent, which by the way is not Amazon that's doing the same work for millions of other customers, that's not your dependent agent. Your SEO guy is not a dependent agent in America because it's an independent contractor. It's engaged in a similar business with a number of other clients. Or if you're from a treaty country, then an extra way out of US taxation for you would be to know that unless you have a permanent establishment, significant physical presence in the States, then you will not be subject to a US taxation either. And contact me if you have any further questions.